this is your December 2024 soul story. If you've got a sun, rising or moon in the sign, this is your final reading for this year. It's Romy. Thank you so much for all your support and investment on the channel this year. Really appreciate you. We are going to open up this month for you with the energy of the Four of Swords. Now, with Mercury tracking through Sagittarius retrograde and Mars, of course, stationing retrograde in your sign from the 6th, the 4 feels like quite a nice opportunity to just stop and reflect. And I think one of the big things that you're going to be contemplating is what it's really cost you. What it's cost you in time, in money perhaps, in energy, in opportunity, in happiness, in your peace. And I think that if you can use this cycle in its most wise, highest expression, what will drop out of asking that question is a realization of some pretty firm actions that you will be ready to take and that you will have to put into motion to really make and bring about a change that's going to promote a better balance for you in your world. You've got some really powerful signs showing up, and I want you to really pay attention. It's an emotive time. It's a season where there's so much reminiscent nostalgia, but also a lot of chaos and frenzy going on. And I think if you're looking towards, what is the right thing to do here? What's the right thing to say here? When life is consumed by others' needs and the obligations that they put upon you, sometimes it's hard to hear what it is that you need. And that's why I think that Four of Swords is a really quiet contemplation around being able to lean in and observe the signs that are showing up personally for you. You will not miss them. Now, there's something about December that affords second chances that can work to reevaluate things, to reassess choices you've already made and realize they were the right ones, or perhaps to look again at something to see if it still has some value or merit for you. And in that moment, do expect that there is this continuing contradictory nature that is playing out in December. Now, it's almost like there's this collective feeling of everyone on edge, right? And that's not necessarily changing anytime soon. The world is full of polarizing, contradictory experiences right now, but it doesn't have to be the new norm for you. Your Eight of Wands suggests that there's an ability to be able, through the communication and the way that you choose to respond to things, lift yourself and detach yourself somewhat from much lower frequencies. I think that's only possible because you've given yourself some time and space to be able to really think about things, okay? And if you're not feeling seen right now, then perhaps you're not in a place where you truly belong. There's something better for you. There's a huge feeling and emphasis, I think, in the early part of December around you really doing right by you. And, understanding the resiliency and the determination that you have. And yes, the confusion still reigns true, right? There might be a lot that feels very unknown to you at this moment, but the trust that you can place in yourself. And I think there's enough of information and conversations that are happening. The sort of analogy I give for December is it's like there's this thick grey cloud cover, but every now and again the sun is breaking through, and when it does, it's affording you the insight and the illumination to kind of really see things for what they are, but to feel the warmth and the energy that you need to be able to kind of progress or to take an action or to know that you're right in terms of what you're leaning or feeling into with regards to something. So I like that Eight of Wands. I think it's working positively on your behalf, and I feel there's an uplifting situation or scenario that comes through in this month that happens just when you need it most. Now, we approach the 7th of the month as quite a power day. Ceres moves into Aquarius. Venus shifts into the sign the day before. We also have Venus in conversation with Pluto, Sun with Jupiter, and Ceres is a very nurturing energy, but she's also talking about value. She's talking about material, manifestation, money, prosperity. And with Venus conjunct Pluto, there's also something potentially happening here, a bit unconventional, unexpected, but also quite powerful with the Empress showing up. And I think that can help you to get a handle on something. And that's why it's so important, to have had these conversations with yourself about what has this really cost me, because it's going to make sure that if you are having to make choices and decisions with regards to something, and utilize and harness, leverage that energy of the 7th and right through to the portal of 1212, what you'll find is that you're making them from a place of power, a position of power. And that is important for you because you're needing to feel that sense of emotional stability. And by the way, if someone is trying to, make out like you're coming over as being insecure, actually what really is going on is that, you are fundamentally entitled to feel emotionally safe, and needing to make choices and decisions or to articulate or explain or express yourself in a way that really helps people to understand that is absolutely your right, and I think is wholly necessary to get people to really understand where you're coming from, right? Neptune also stations direct, so there's a sort of, okay, this is where we're at. And remember, Neptune also deals with boundaries, and if there's been some dissolving of boundaries, it's a time especially helpful, I think, in December to make sure you put them back in place. And I see you doing so with some real strength, actually, and some real assertiveness, because it's a slippery slope, right? You realize that sometimes you give something an inch and then all of a sudden it's just kind of crept in and it's just taken over again. So where your understanding of your own vices, of your own addictions, of things that are particularly toxic in your world, December highlights it and shows you it in a new light, but it also demonstrates just how far you've come. And that needs to be recognized by you. If you can't give credit to yourself in that instance, like who else is going to, right? Even though it may feel at times disorientating, I think that you do have a clear strategy, and even if it's something that you need to return to in a kind of back to basics way for yourself, you'll do that in a mindfulness and with a heart-led intention that is going to help you to do the right thing by yourself and by others, actually, even if they don't necessarily see it that way straight away. Now, the full moon comes in on the 15th in Gemini, and the same day Mercury stations direct in Sagittarius. Movement, growth. We're on a path that feels actually like it's going to have some unstoppable momentum, but initially it may feel like it's got to start out a little bit tentatively, a little bit conservatively, even with that Mars retrograde in your sign. But don't you worry, you will soon be able to gain ground or get to a place where actually you're far further on than what you think you are. It kind of reminds me of that story, the turtle and the hare, and it sort of ends up with the turtle winning the race. It's just kind of slow and steady, and there's something about that if you can apply that rationale and that thinking. And that's what the Emperor really is also here to help you with, right? He executes from a place of deep wisdom. He's not in a rush. You don't need to force anything or kind of act impulsively, although at times it can be a little bit more challenging to direct impatience and frustration and agitation at this time of a year with the cycles that are going on right now. But I think that there's some news and information that comes to light that will in fact give you a green light around that time of the mid-month, and you'll put things into motion even if you know it's not necessarily going to get full movement or you're really going to see the benefit of it straight away. It's enough. Any small investment, any intention that you take, and also the realization of what's got to go, right? Because it may be that you just can't carry it all. You can't do it all, There's going to be some sort of compromise or sacrifice, and it's really down to you to think about, what is the really clear priority or commitment that I need to address right now. Your 10 of Pentacles, there's family dynamics going on here, but there's also that sense of, again, belonging. Maybe you're questioning that. I don't even know where I belong. Like, it doesn't feel right anymore, or the type of traditions or the scenarios, are not good for me. So what does that mean for me? There's a lot of bigger kind of conversations that are running through your energy field that may be expressed to others, or maybe that you're just having with yourself. But there's also something in terms of what you are entitled to, what's meant for you, what's right for you, and you also kind of moving towards this claiming energy of that. and again in quite a powerful way. Now with the Ten of Pentacles, the Emperor, there might be something going on, you know, within the family, down that paternal line, that's helping to, I suppose, you know, shake things up or make you see something or realize something or show you something. Again, with that retrograde energy, you're going to have to pour back over details, remember. Maybe hearing something or coming to terms with something that you didn't fully understand or comprehend up to this point. Remember, the full moon in Gemini can be quite polarizing. There's also a lot of misinformation that can come through. So you got to kind of really take some time to try and disseminate and work through the filters and just kind of figure out what your truth is. There is transparency within this moon. It just means that you might need to dig a little harder to find it. I think Mercury shifting direct will certainly be helpful in that moment. And as you approach, you know, the shift from Sag into Capricorn on the 21st and solstice energy, I think there's a deeply peaceful experience that can kind of come over you at that time that maybe again just gives you a chance to kind of step back and reflect. The Four of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, they just feel like kind of quiet, receptive energies. And that can be helpful in a season that feels super overwhelming and frenzied at times. Again, it talks to me about what's been invested, what's meant for you, what's coming to fruition for you. So however you're leaning into that, or some of the inspiration or things that might be kind of peppered on the horizon, know that the signs are like really wanting to kind of be clear for you. Like it's wanting to help you find trust in something. That has to start with trust in yourself. That might be challenging if you're going through something where there's a lack of trust with someone or some type of an experience that you have. And I think December, again, like I said, can feel very contradictory. But the opportunity for second chances to kind of look at something with a fresh perspective will be really valuable for you, okay? Even if everyone else is on edge, you can still decide that's not an energy that you have to absorb. I actually see you in quite a kind of controlled energy. We don't want to be overly controlled. We want to allow ourselves to feel what we need to feel at this time. It's important, you know, we've been through a lot. But at the same time, this is helpful because I would say that with a Mars retrograde in your sign, sometimes channeling things so that they're not irrational or impulsive can be a little tough, but you seem to have the capacity here to, just when it counts, just when it matters, rein it in or pull back or redirect or talk to yourself in a way of what is the version of me that really wants to say, you know, the right thing in this moment, right? And just kind of choose to go from that place of growth. And that's super helpful and supportive for you. We have a bit of friction on the 24th where Jupiter squares Saturn right ahead of that holidays. And it feels, you know, somewhat temperamental, I think. But at the same time, again, it doesn't have to define the experience. It can be a fleeting moment if you allow it. But if you kind of hold a grudge or you take umbrage or there's resentment that kind of sticks, you know, it can put you in a place of just being a bit more brooding in the days to come. I think Chiron stationing direct on the 29th, right ahead of the new moon in Capricorn on the 30th, is deeply clarifying, and it really demonstrates how far you've actually come in your own personal healing journey. So there's a remarkable quality to sort of finalizing this year in a place of tenderness and softness with yourself, but also like steely determination to make a promise around something, not in a kind of, you know, a New Year's resolution way, but something much deeper, something that's felt at a more cellular level within you, that's understood by you, and that is really set up in preparation for supporting you on your path into 2025. It's really powerful. It feels like it's coming down the lineage. It's something that's been cleared ancestrally, and the weight and the lifting of that is palpable for you. So a very powerful end to the month, I think. Now, if you're new to the channel, the last 3 cards we do look at in the extended reading, you'll find the link in the comment and description box underneath. We talk for another 30 minutes or so. We'll look at a personal and a relationship card for you. We'll also look at a card for the year ahead and see the direction we're going to be taking that. Just going to clarify these and see the messages we'll be looking at in your extended. Please do check out my solstice activation, also my soul soothing affirmations. All the sacred soul support at this time of year is particularly beneficial, I think. Of course, my journal is shipping right now, so please check out the offers around the deck, the book and the journal. This sacred trilogy here to support you with everything and anything that you are going through on your path right now. You've actually got some really beautiful clarifiers coming through here, Leo. So everything over on romywiser.com. Another Emperor showing up here. Okay, and all of the decks are always listed below also. Let's have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle. So this is my own deck. What do we have here? We've got Detours from the Divine, and we've got Soul Star Energy, the Sun charged in light, the Collective Heart. We've got New Moon, Deliberate Intention, and we've got Waves Crash and Stars Fall. Okay, and we're just going to look at the Soul Call Oracle. It's created by my soul friend Kelly. What do we have for Leo for December? The Golden Pearl, your divine gold print. Okay, we're going to explore that in the extended. Leo, thank you so much for all your support and investment this past 12 months. Just a quick preview of the new journal that I have created to support you. Just a beautiful companion for your soul journey alongside your other planners and diaries. I hope you will have a moment to go and check it out if you haven't already pre-ordered, and for those of you that have, thank you so much. Have a really beautiful, peaceful holiday season. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you again in 2025. Take it easy, and bright blessings.